Okay, so welcome. Welcome to this deep dive tailored just for you. Today, we're really digging into The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride.
That's right. Published back in August 2023. It's quite a mix, isn't it? Historical fiction, literary.
Definitely. And social commentary, too. It's certainly captured a lot of attention, got a 55 rating.
Yeah.
Even made Barack Obama's favorite books list for 2023.
Mm-hmm. Which says something.
So our goal here is, to unpack this book, understand the story, the themes, why it hit home for so many people. And the story actually kicks off, interestingly enough, in the 1970s. A skeleton found in a well.
Yeah, and that hook is what immediately pulls you back in time. It's clever. McBride takes us way back, mainly to the 1920s and 30s, to Chicken Hell.
Right, this fictional neighborhood within Pottstown, Pennsylvania.
Exactly. And this deep dive, it's really about uncovering the story behind that skeleton. It's about this forgotten community, Black residents, Jewish immigrants living side by side, often marginalized.
And at the heart of it all, you've got Moshe and Shona Ludlow.
The Jewish couple, yeah. They run the store, the Heaven and Earth grocery store.
Their connections with their Black neighbors, that's really the core, I think. And Shona especially. Wow. A disabled Jewish woman, but just full of strength and kindness.
Absolutely. She really defies expectations. And Moshe, her husband, he runs the local theater, but you see him kind of learning about compassion, about community through Chona and through everything that happens.
Mm-hmm. He grows into it.
Yeah, he does. But what's really fascinating, I think, is how this one specific event just brings everyone together, or forces them together, maybe.
You mean with Dodo?
Exactly. Dodo, the young, deaf Black boy, he's facing, being institutionalized by the state authorities, which was just awful.
Terrible. And he becomes this symbol, doesn't he?
He does. A symbol of innocence, but also the cruelty of the system. And the whole neighborhood, Black, Jewish, immigrant, they rally.
They hide him.
They hide him, they protect him. It's driven by, compassion more than anything else. Not because they're all the same, but because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
You see them conspiring, pooling resources, taking huge risks themselves. That's where McBride really explores that love, that resistance, that community spirit against prejudice.
Yeah, that's where it really clicks for me, too. This isn't just a plot, is it? It's digging into some really big ideas. What themes did you feel McBride really nailed?
Well, if you connect it to the bigger picture, you see how he shows discrimination in its different forms. The Black residents facing overt racism, with jobs and just daily life. Mm-hmm. And the Jewish community dealing with anti-Semitism, maybe more subtle sometimes, but definitely there, like threats to their synagogue.
Right. Different struggles, but
a shared vulnerability, a shared fight for dignity, really. And that creates this unique bond in Chicken Hill.
And that solidarity you mentioned, it's not just abstract.
No, not at all. It's active. It's protection. Mm-hmm. Like with Dodo, they don't just feel bad for him. They act. They create this whole network to keep him safe. It's quite something.
It really is.
And then there's the moral complexity. McBride doesn't do flat characters. Even the antagonists, they have layers.
Like the sheriff.
Yeah, maybe someone like the sheriff. You might see him act out of, maybe misguided intentions or some kind of twisted duty, not just pure malice. It makes you think.
It does. Avoids easy answers.
Exactly. And there's also this undercurrent of faith, but more like spiritual resilience, shared humanity. It's woven in subtly, not preachy at all. And finally, circling back to that skeleton we started with.
Like the mystery.
It all ties into memory and history. The book is really pushing us, I think, to remember these stories that get buried, forgotten communities, forgotten struggles, understanding the past.
It's one thing to have a great story, powerful themes, but the writing itself. McBride's style is pretty unique. How would you describe it?
Oh, it's lyrical, definitely. And humorous, surprisingly humorous sometimes, given the weight of the topic.
Yeah, there's a real wit there. Often in the dialogue.
Exactly. It grounds the characters, makes them feel authentic even when things get absurd. And his descriptions.
Wow. You can almost smell Chicken Hill, can't you?
You really can. The garlic, the sweat, the sounds, the clashing cultures. It's incredibly vivid. And the characters just bursting with life, an amazing ensemble cast.
Big Soap, Addie, Nate.
Yeah.
You really remember them.
You do. Each one feels distinct, full of their own quirks and courage. They're all part of that community fabric.
And the pacing felt quite dynamic to me. It moves, but it also takes time for those deep character moments.
Yeah, it balances that brisk movement with reflection really well.
So that combination, the characters, the style, must be part of why it struck such a chord. It got huge acclaim.
Oh, absolutely. The New York Times, NPR, the Washington Post,
Yeah.
they all praised its warmth, its wit, its moral urgency.
So why do you think that is? A story set almost 100 years ago, fictional town. Why does it connect so much now?
Well, I think it's those timeless themes, isn't it?
Yeah.
The fight against prejudice hasn't gone away. The need for community, for belonging, that's universal. True. So while the setting is specific, the core emotions, the struggles, they feel very human, very relevant today. That's why it appeals, I think, to both literary readers and those looking for just a really good, engaging story.
Okay, so thinking about all this, for you, the listener, maybe considering picking this up, what's the big picture? What are the main strengths?
The strengths are definitely significant. I mean, it's masterful storytelling, rich characters you care about.
That deep historical context, but with a message that feels really contemporary.
Exactly. It's deeply human, emotional, yes, but also funny and ultimately surprisingly hopeful. It's about justice, community power.
Right. Are there any maybe downsides or things to be aware of?
Well, maybe not downsides exactly, but observations. Some readers might, at the very start, find the large cast a little tricky to keep track of initially.
Okay, yeah. Takes a minute to settle in.
And the timeline does jump around a bit between the 70s and the 2030s, so, it asks you to pay attention.
Not entirely linear.
No. And look, if you prefer really fast-paced, plot-first thrillers, this is more character-driven, more reflective. So the pace might feel, perhaps, a little more deliberate at times.
But those are stylistic choices, right? Part of what makes it work?
Absolutely. They contribute to the depth, the immersion. They're not flaws, just part of its unique style.
So summing up, The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store really feels like a brilliant piece of work. Heartfelt, timely.
Definitely timely.
Celebrating ordinary people doing extraordinary things, really. McBride uses humor, history, heartbreak, creates something specific to Chicken Hill, but also just universal.
Yeah, it's one of those books that really stays with you after you finish it. It's a powerful reminder, I think.
Of what community can do.
Yeah, how kindness, courage, sticking together, how they can actually stand up to deep, deep injustice. If you love powerful historical fiction, stuff with real social insight, real emotional depth.
You should absolutely read this, especially if you're a fan of, say, The Color Purple, maybe To Kill a Mockingbird.
Or more recently, The Nickel Boys, The Underground Railroad, that kind of weight and heart.
This fits right in there.
It really does. And, thinking about that skeleton in the well that kicks the whole thing off.
The hidden story.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden stories of community strength, of resilience do you think are out there in our own history? Just waiting to be, unearthed and understood.
Yeah.